There have been tons of recurring patterns in this season of American Gods. From the 7 of Spades to dandelions to all the damn buffaloes, there are many things that could mean something and a lot of things that are probably false alarms. Before I start in on this unholy spiel, please be sure to subscribe to Universe, and if you already subscribe to Universe, tell your friends about us. Tell your mom about us. We want to be the best channel for TV breakdowns and comic book backstories on the YouTubes. So let us know what you want us to cover and let us know if you like how we're doing it. Thank you. Now on to the theories, explanations, and Easter eggs. So in the middle of making this video, I got a haircut, so sometimes I look like this. Some of the theories and Easter eggs in this video are mine, and some of them are other people's, but I'm not going to tell you which is which.
Clues were not in the agreement.
We know that the new gods are watching Shadow and Wednesday, but how long have they been watching? And are they also watching Laura? This theory is that Media was spying on Laura since before she met Shadow, or maybe that Media is spying on everyone in the world. The first time we see Laura enter her living room, it seems Woody Woodpecker looks at her just as she turns off her TV. No big deal, just a dumb coincidence, right? The next time we see this scene, Laura is with Shadow, and Woody seems to be responding to their activity. The shot on the TV cuts to another character removing his clothes just before Shadow does the same. Later in the same scene, Woody can be seen jumping off the other character and then blinking at him suggestively. Finally, as Laura returns home to find her cat, Dummy, dead on the kitchen floor, Woody is shown walking the plank, possibly foreshadowing the cat's recent demise, or foretelling Laura's. Or maybe it's just random cartoon clips on her television. After his rash of bad luck and angry bluster,
"Give me my fucking coin, dead wife. Give me my coin. Just give me my fucking coin back."
In the 7th episode, Mad Sweeney reveals that he did in fact have a part to play in Laura's death while in the employ of Wednesday. But he also revealed that he feels bad about it. He returns the coin to Laura, probably just because he wants to right the wrong of killing her. But some people think it's more than that. Mad Sweeney has all the gold in the world and he's still shackled. Stuck because he owes Wednesday a war, but maybe also stuck in love with a soul that has returned from the past. What I'm saying is, people think that Laura is related to Essie and possibly Sweeney is in love with her due to all the puppy dog eyes he makes at her and the grumpiness he displays at the mention of Shadow. This theory is tied to a few others. Many people have postulated that Laura is related to Essie somehow. The evidence for this being that Emily Browning played both parts. And Laura talking about her grandmother having a thing for cats.
My grandma always had cats.
Obviously, Essie McGowan being born sometime in the early 1700s would mean she was at least 4 generations of cat-loving grandmothers back from Laura. Also, Laura's maiden name was McCabe, which would actually fit in with an Irish family from Virginia that married into the Richardson family. The other reason people think that Sweeney is tied to Essie is actually debunked in the next section, but it led to a bunch of cool research that I'm gonna just show you anyway. In episode 1, we can see both sides of Mad Sweeney's coin. It is obviously not the same coin that Essie left him. Dunked. But let's do a bunch of research to see if any of the coins have relevance anyway.
It was all the money she had in the world.
Essie's coin is a 1758 silver shilling. It has George II's face on the other side, but the side that we see shows the coat of arms from the realms George controlled. The Latin around the edges of the coin is partially abbreviated and translates to King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Duke of Brunswick and Lüneburg, High Treasurer and Elector of the Holy Roman Empire. The first coin that Shadow has is a 1979 Susan B. Anthony silver dollar. Susan B. Anthony was an abolitionist, a women's suffrage activist, and also the first woman on US currency.
Just take it. Here.
The moon coin that Shadow was given by Zoria Polinichnaya is a 1922 Liberty silver dollar, featuring the Roman goddess Libertas, goddess of freedom and liberty from oppression. So it might serve as a get-out-of-jail-free card for Shadow in the future, or he might just keep pulling it out of his dead wife's ear.
My lucky coin, Ginger Minch.
Sweeney's coin seems to be a stylized Aztec calendar centered by Tonatiuh, the Aztec deity of the sun and the king of heaven.
That's for royalty.
The coin also has the power to bring people back to life, which is associated with the mythical alchemical item, the Philosopher's Stone. The face in the middle looks like depictions of the sun found on alchemical wood carvings, such as the Rosarium Philosopharium. It's pretty obvious they made up Sweeney's coin for the show, but I thought that looking at the possible design references was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything in my research that says they use specific coins on purpose.
Faith or Nutan?
Towards the end of Essie's life, we start seeing the apples from her family's orchard beginning to fall. Nutan developed his initial idea for the theory of gravity after watching an apple fall from a tree. This started a major change in the way people viewed our world, a rift between science and faith. The apples falling around Essie could represent the failing faith of Essie's family. As it dwindles, so does the power of the old gods of Ireland in her household.
There seemed no room for the spirits of old in Virginia, so Essie no longer told her tales.
Many people think that Mad Sweeney threw 4 gold coins out of an ice cream truck to pay for his popsicle because he can't take what isn't given to him.
You can't take it, can you?
First of all, how could one popsicle cost 4 gold coins? Those things are like 30 cents at Costco. That doesn't make sense. Second of all, he can totally take things that aren't his.
Please stop stealing my cap.
You buck-eating nonsense.
I think that Mad Sweeney is only limited to taking that specific coin by this rule. Leprechauns in mythology have stolen and even kidnapped, so I'm unconvinced it actually applies. Mad Sweeney paid 4 gold coins so a bunny would run in front of Laura. That bunny has pockets. Shut up. Now, why would he have done that? Maybe he planned to kill her again to get his coin back because it's easier than resurrecting a dead girl. Or maybe Wednesday's Raven told him to do it while he was peeing in episode 7.
I will eat you.
His moment of indecision is pretty clear though when he looks back at her dead body on the ground.
Liam!
Wednesday, Odin, Grimnir, Glad of War, whatever you call him, some gods don't like him.
Why is he in my home?
He killed Vulcan and had Sweeney kill Laura. That dude is up to something fishy. Wednesday is keeping Shadow and Laura separated and even used one of his charms to help Shadow forget her.
Can you let her fade away?
Despite Laura coming back from the dead and only desiring to be with her husband. Wednesday's trying to convince everyone that the new gods are bad, but they offered him a truce and a rebranding to get him faith back. Rebrandings that worked out really well for Bilquis and Vulcan.
They're not the oppressors. They're the tide. They're gravity.
The main reason that we have to mistrust the new gods is Technical Boy, a young god, being a bloodthirsty little shit. But when media saw that he was misbehaving, he was actually punished for this. In episode 8, Odin convinces Easter to take the spring. This isn't just an attack on the new gods, this is an attack on humans, and the new gods are horrified by this.
What have you done?
Odin and the old gods are things that we made up when we didn't understand the world around us. Of course they feel like they're our betters because we put them in places of power.
I offer you the worm from my beak and you look at me like I fucked your mom?
Wednesday's mention of Shadow's mom being a dancing queen with a big afro,
Her mama had a big afro, huh? Dancing queen?
and the fact that she seems distraught after Technical Boy hires her as a vagina assassin to kill Shadow, has some people theorizing that Shadow is Bilquis' son, revealing himself to Shadow in the season finale, which happens to fall on Father's Day, and this.
Well, you just gonna go and get a suit made like you're the goddamn godfather? What the fuck did you think he was?
All of that developed into the theory that Wednesday and Bilquis are Shadow's parents. I think it's a bit of a stretch, because the Zorias told Shadow that his mom died of cancer, and he agreed.
Your mother died of cancer.
Yeah.
Also, let's not forget what happens to kings who think they can conquer Bilquis.
You're an asshole, dead wife!
After Laura fakes her death in a bathtub, she's brought to a morgue, the coroner of which is looking at a screen full of mini horses. Possibly just eye bleach after a hard day of cutting into dead wives, but some people think it's more than that. Shetland Ponies are an example of what happens to something when technology replaces it. The Shetland breed is thousands of years old. They are small and strong horses due to the harsh environments they were bred to work in. They are great plowing and mining horses, and they were cherished in their time. But now they're ridden by children at county fairs because they have no practical use.
I was a story people forgot to remember to tell.
People ask all the time, can the gods actually die? So far in the show, we've seen the deaths of two gods, Mexican Jesus and Vulcan. Jesus is a god of resurrection. He probably dies and then rises again all the time because it's part of his belief system. We see Mexican Jesus again at Easter's party. Whether or not he was just resurrected that morning from the Coming to America scene is unclear. Vulcan isn't a god of resurrection though, so my guess is we probably won't see him again. Also, there's that whole thing about if you're killed by a god, it's final.
I can't help you with your dead. You are dead of a different kind.
Despite the show being amazing, the producers aren't gods themselves. We found a few continuity errors in the show, but we had to look pretty hard. In episode 2, Wednesday gives Shadow a shopping list that includes 2 cell phones. When Shadow buys the phones, Wednesday throws them out the window. Did you want me to buy these phones, or not? Were you just trying to prove a point? Shadow acts like he came up with the whole idea of cell phones on his own, so I don't think the cell phones were supposed to be on the shopping list. Essie's coin that I mentioned before from episode 7 is a 1758 shilling, but the Coming to America sequence is supposed to be 1721. So even if the 1721 is the childhood Essie that we see standing on the cliffs, we're not looking at a 40-year-old Essie later. So it seems like they just didn't get an old enough coin and just hoped we wouldn't notice. But we did. The next one's a little bit of a reach. When Laura kisses Shadow, her heart beats, but she had already undergone an autopsy at that point, and people that undergo autopsies have their organs removed and placed in bags when they're buried. So all of her organs should have been in her stomach, but we see when she kisses Shadow that her heart is in the right place. Her heart's in the right place. Finally, a quick list of Easter eggs that you might have missed. Wednesday and Shadow are eating under a 2-for-1 Wednesdays sign at the Chinese restaurant. The Djinn is wearing Salim's suit in episode 2, but we don't find out who the Djinn is until the next episode. The hotel manager at the Starbright Hotel is reading a John Grisham novel called Sycamore Row, a book about segregation and lynching in the South. Since these topics are so widely brought up in the series, the book's appearance is probably not random. Oh my American gods, that was a lot of information. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Add me on Twitter at Buddy Hutton and tell me if I screwed anything up, or ask me a question to be featured in our next American Gods video. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I love you.